Ghana buys gas from Nigeria. Gas isn't cheap. Nigeria has the gas in abundance but need electricity. Ghana has surplus in electricity produced. So what stops the two from getting a deal done, ladies and gentlemen? A barter trade could be all we need as Africans, where we use our resources and expertise to solve each other's problems. This is what intra-Africa trade is all about, and it makes sense to hear this kind of communication from a minister of state, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cyrus, and this is Tumtum Network in Accra, Ghana. Be sure to subscribe if today is your first time, and click on the bell for more of my videos. Let's get into this.
Africa Funder is a website which enables you to raise funds from people in the diaspora in order to assist with the completion of projects that would help to foster the growth and development of the continent. Raise funds for a range of diverse projects, whether it be for schools, classroom remodeling, healthcare services, or the next unicorn technology company. Sign up now and allow us to begin this journey together.
So this was a statement made by the Minister for Energy and Petroleum in Ghana in an energy conference hosted by Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP. This is what he actually said, ladies and gentlemen, and I quote him. "We believe we can work together. Ghana takes gas from Nigeria, generates power and re-exports. We are in discussions to see if we can create a barter arrangement where we take their gas, convert into power, and supply electricity back to Nigeria in the spirit of West African cooperation." End of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. According to Nigeria's 2024 annual report from the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, the country produced approximately 6.86 billion standard cubic feet per day of gas. Ghana produced approximately 330 million standard cubic feet per day of gas, natural gas in 2024. So the numbers we are playing with is 6.86 billion by Nigeria and 330 million by Ghana. Nigeria last year produced nearly 21 times the volume of gas Ghana produces. In fact, 10 years ago, Nigeria used to produce between 8.2 to 8.3 billion standard cubic feet of natural gas per day. So they actually got a lot of gas. But what they don't have is the generation capacity. Nigeria's installed capacity stands at approximately 13,625 megawatts, according to Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. But Nigeria struggles to utilize most of it. So they often use between 5 to 6 gigawatt operationally due to great instability, poor transmission infrastructure, fuel supply issues, and vandalism. However, as of 2024, Ghana's total installed electricity generation capacity is approximately 5,749 megawatts. Ghana's most usable or dependable capacity at any given time is actually between 4.5 to 4.7 gigawatts due to operational challenges. So Nigeria, with more than 200 million people, has a dependable supply of between 5 to 6 gigawatts. Whereas Ghana, with a population of 33 million, has a dependable supply of between 4 to 7 gigawatts. So check this out. Nigeria has between 5 to 6 gigawatts. Ghana has between 4 to 7 gigawatts. This is where Nigeria's electricity problem resides. The usable power generated on any given day is just too small for their size. And ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore fair to allow for an exchange to help each other in this circumstance. You have the gas, we can produce the electricity. Therefore, you give us the gas, we give you the electricity. This is a good deal in my estimation. I don't know how far this conversation has gotten to in between these two countries, but it should be highly considered, seeing the need each country has for the other. Already, Ghana supplies the Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, and Benin electricity, and it will be a matter of extending power stations and power lines to Nigeria. Now, I want you to take a critical look at these stats and see why this deal makes a lot of sense. According to the World Bank's Energy Progress Report in 2025, approximately 86.8 million Nigerians did not have access to electricity in 2023. Another one, the USAID report on energy in Nigeria in 2024 states that about 85 million Nigerians lacked access to electricity. Finally, the federal government of Nigeria in March of 2024 acknowledged that about 92 million people remain without access to grid electricity. So the World Bank has 86.8 people in 2023 without electricity, USAID 85 million in 2024, and the federal government of Nigeria has 92 million people without access to electricity in 2024. These numbers I've just mentioned are equal to the summation of multiple countries in Africa. That's about 40% of the country's population. I'm talking about Nigeria. And when you don't have light, ladies and gentlemen, you are literally cut off from the world today. Businesses and homes must resort to generators and diesel fuel, which can be very, very problematic, ladies and gentlemen. It simply doesn't encourage investment and small businesses. Could that be one of the factors contributing to the mass emigration of Nigerians? We in Ghana, for instance, had a similar situation between 2014 to 2016, where power was heavily rationed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was all the people of Ghana needed to remove the president at the time. So the option is on the table to Nigeria, and it's pretty much in the hands of the government of Nigeria to make the call. They may have plans to resolve this problem in the future, but until then, this could be a temporary solution. And look at it from this way, ladies and gentlemen. This deal with Ghana could give you a breathing space to plan properly with your next move on resolving your power crisis to Nigeria. As it stands now, several African countries are going through similar crises. South Africa, for instance, has been rationing power for over a decade now. Zimbabwe is facing up to 19 hours of daily power cuts. Zambia is rationing 12 hours of power cuts in a day. Tanzania has been struggling with power since 2023. And even Kenya is considering a load shedding exercise as a short-term remedy due to transmission issues. So, it is a continental issue, and solutions are what's most needed, ladies and gentlemen. What the Minister of State in charge of Energy and Petroleum in Ghana, Mr. John Jinapor, is proposing is going to be useful in a short term for Nigeria. Now, I want to bring this to your attention for your consideration while I bring this episode to a conclusion. All over in Africa, resources abound. We all know it, but expertise are scarce. The struggle has been about soliciting the needed support and cooperation from neighboring countries for mutual benefit. And every time, we rather hand it over to a foreigner than to entrust it in the hands of a fellow black man, ladies and gentlemen. Rwanda, for instance, has peace in their country. Congo is at war. And these two countries could work out their differences to ensure peace at their borders. But no. They'll rather call in America to settle their differences and milk their countries in that process. We are yet to overcome this challenge even till this day, ladies and gentlemen. And when it comes to Nigeria, the management of the Nigeria energy sector has always been the problem. And two things are pretty much obvious. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. It's either the government or the political elite in the country enjoy the absence of stable electricity to sell their diesel and generators, or the government of the day just don't want to upgrade their outdated power grid equipment for whatever reason known to them. Since 2022, reports show of transformer explosions in the country every year in Nigeria. In 2022, November 6th, it occurred in Kaduna, Sabon Tasha area, and in Okene in Kogi State on December 29th, same thing. In October 2023, was in Kabon Central in Plateau State. In December 16th, in Maryland, Ikorodu, Lagos State. Also in Alagbon, Lagos substation in June, and in Kebbi substation on the 14th of September. Just last year, 2 explosions were confirmed. One in Jeba transmission substation on October 19th, and the second one in Ogun State on April 5th. Just this August 5th, 2025, in Egbin substation, there was an incident of transformer malfunction, which eventually caught fire. These are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. So in the face of all these challenges, I strongly believe it makes sense, absolute sense, to get into this deal, even if it's for the short term. You scratch my back, I do same for you, and we all live in comfort. I hope this video finds itself in the hands of the right people. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for taking time to watch, and catch you in the next one. Be sure to subscribe if today is your first time with us, and also click on the bell for more. I'll come your way again with another one very soon. Until then, God bless Africa, and it is bye-bye for now.